Welcome back to the Listen Up podcast, where we will analyze an album every episode. And this week, the topic album is Both Sides Now by Willie Nelson, and the album was released in the year 1970. It features original songs by Nelson, as well as some covers by a few other artists of the time. And the person who chose this album this week was Nick. So I thought we'd start off by having Nick talk a little bit about, what made you choose this album. I know you talked about it a little bit last week, but maybe just as a refresher. Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and elaborate on that.
Why, yes, of course. So, yeah, I've liked this album since about, probably for a little over half a year now. A little more than that, because I discovered it more in my fall semester last year in a class that I took that was all about popular music from the 50s to the 70s, which is one of my favorite classes I've taken at college so far. But we didn't cover Willie Nelson a whole lot. We kind of threw him in one of our lessons, but we never listened to any of his music. And I just decided to check him out because one day we had a event report for the class where we were supposed to try and go to any form of like live music concert throughout the semester and write a report about it. And our professor asked us if anyone went to a concert that week. Someone raised their hand and they said they went to it was a Willie Nelson and someone else concert. He was with someone else, and it was an older artist, but they weren't a country artist. I was surprised, but my professor got like super excited when my classmate said that he went to the Willie Nelson concert, and I was like, well, I guess I should check him out. And I've liked him a lot. He's got a lot of good vibes.
Yeah.
I listened to this album because I saw it it was a country vinyl bundle from a company called Vinyl Me Please. And
I've heard about them.
Yeah,
actually. Maybe it's probably from you, honestly.
Yeah, I got a lot of Instagram ads from them. And,
dude, I think I've seen Instagram ads from them also now.
But they've got some cool stuff. Like a lot of their vinyls are only through their subscription service, but they also have a fair amount of vinyls that you can just buy that they make. Right. And they put it was like a country album like bundle. It was just 2 albums, and one of them was this one, and the other one was a Dolly Parton album. And I think it was.
Do you happen to know which Dolly Parton album off the top of your head?
Does she just have an album called Jolene?
I think so.
I think it was that one. I know it was the one with Jolene.
I've got no idea.
Okay, I got you.
Well, there you go.
But I remember I listened to like half of that one, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then I listened to this one, and I was like, man, I really like a lot of these songs. And like I knew I liked Southern music, but I didn't know I liked like country music that was like this country. So
yeah, I got you.
So
everyone's like Carrie Underwood before he cheats, but you didn't know like
that's a little
yeah.
I don't know, man. Might be a little
okay.
A little hardcore for my taste.
So, do you have anything else about like why you specifically chose it, Nick, or are you good?
I guess that was the backstory, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it because I feel like it has a good balance of like good time songs and also songs that are like introspective and like kind of make you think about like choices you've made and people who've been in your life and things like that. And I didn't really realize until I like listened through it and like tried to like really listen to a lot of the lyrics this time when I listened through it a few times this week, but I didn't realize like pretty much like every single song is about like a relationship. But
Well, I mean, that's like just
that's
classic Southwestern.
I was gonna say
Nashville area countries you can get.
Yeah. But yeah, I also like the Avett Brothers a lot, and I feel like some of his like slower, like more just kind of like acoustic songs with like one or two instruments that reminds me of some early Avett Brothers stuff.
Yeah. Step in. Claire and I actually, Claire liked them a lot. We actually went to an Avett Brothers concert in at App one time.
Okay.
So I've seen them live in concert before.
Oh, dude, I saw them at Bonnaroo.
Yeah, well,
summer. It was awesome.
Oh god.
You know, guess who we saw right after we saw the Avett Brothers?
T-Pain?
Gambino.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty cool.
I feel like I would be like I would be in two simultaneous states of like euphoria and like crying at the same time.
Yeah, it was quite the juxtaposition, but
it would be amazing.
I think it was probably, at least for me, it was like my favorite. Like evening shows. Yeah. So that okay. So if that's what made you choose it, you kind of got into it a little bit, but I also thought maybe we could talk about like our individual like prior experiences with Willie Nelson, the album, songs on it.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of talk about experiences with the genre or artist. Yeah. So I mean, this is like what I would throw into, especially for me because my grandpa actually listens to it. But to me, this is like your granddad's country music.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I can't think of a more just quintessential old sad country artist than like Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson, Cash, Merle Haggard, the other member of the Highwaymen,
Chris Christopherson.
Yeah,
is it him?
Yeah, because we had the. Never mind, I'll cut that.
PG-13,
yeah,
bro.
So, I just cut some audio about one of our teachers, personal information. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, at least for me, through my grandpa, I've had, and my parents, my mom is also, she got it from her dad as well. It's just, when I hear old country, I just think of like being a kid and visiting them and just like riding around in his truck and going to get like McDonald's or something and just listen to country music radio on Sirius XM.
That's actually really cute.
Yeah, dude. It was good. Yeah, good times.
Jordan, do you have a prior experience with Willie Nelson?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I really listened to that much of country ever in my life, like at any point.
You talking like new, old, or like all?
All country. Like,
okay.
I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, but like the
City
first...
Slicker.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm from suburbia, alright? The streets of suburbia. But, I don't know, my parents listened to a lot of like, well, for one, my dad listened to like a lot of Daughtry, I think I said last time, or like, just like, more like rock and roll slash, what category would Daughtry go in?
I would throw that just in like, I don't know, the blanket idea of just like early 2000s rock.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Throw it all in the same.
Yeah.
I don't know much about like classifications of rock in the 2000s, but like I my dad listened to a lot of that stuff too, like Nickelback and like Three Doors Down and stuff like that. So I'm fairly familiar with the genre of like 2000s rock.
Yeah, so I'd probably say I don't really have that much. This might be the first like country album I've ever actually listened to. This is like maybe the first time I've actually listened to like 2 country songs in a row and not just Die a Happy Man twice in a row, Like,
yeah, I gotcha. So I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but would you say that then this was a positive experience for you or a negative experience?
So, okay,
Don't
I'll
give away
get
too much detail. We're gonna tease the listeners.
Okay, okay. I don't know. So it was kind of well, Nick, were you focused more on like the lyrics? I feel like because it was a new genre for me, I focused more on like the music,
Oh, okay.
because like I know we've all heard it before, where like people say like all rap music sounds the same, because it's like people don't actually listen to it that much.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of
unless
felt
you
like
train your ear, you
yeah,
don't discern like the different stuff in it.
yeah. I kind of felt the same way about this.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to like listen to the lyrics, but I kept just listening to like that one like bass line in the background, and then like the little guitar picking too that it had like in every song, and I was like if you asked me what the lyrics about, I probably like I tried, but I honestly probably couldn't tell you what they were about, just because I was focusing so much more on the music because I don't actually listen to this genre that often.
I got you.
No, I got you. Yeah, I mean that definitely. Yeah, I think that everybody's been guilty of it. You write off some genre, whatever it may be, and it's just because of the same thing. Like,
Yeah,
once you listen to it, you will hear the differences. But if you haven't trained your ear at all, then it's if you listen to rap without listening to a lot of rap, you just hear drum machines and 808s, and like that's all. Yeah, so I mean, I totally get it. Yeah. Okay. Well, then we can. I guess we'll just move into just running down the track list a little bit. If y'all are ready, we can.
Oh, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
You can't see me; it's a podcast, but I'm like rubbing my hands together right now.
Okay. I'm visualizing.
You know what I mean.
Got it. Yeah, I got you. All right. So, start off the start of the album, obviously, is "Crazy Arms," which was originally by Ralph Mooney, and then this is one of the many covers on the album. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll start off. Like for me, it's just I can't think of a more. I don't know. It's a very country song. It's a pretty. It's a pretty renowned one. I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was probably popular before the time. Like I don't think he made it famous. But I've definitely heard it on like karaoke and shit like that. So, yeah. I mean, I like it. I like the song. I don't really have much to like stood out to me really. It was just kind of, you hear it and you're like, this is country.
Like this is like an old country ballad. Like this is like the exact idea of like what I think of.
Yeah, I mean it's got the simple but effective like thumping bass line, and then it's about the woman marrying someone else and not holding her anymore.
Yeah.
So that's that's what I got out of the song. I don't know.
I thought it was like a lot of the song is about his girlfriend or wife or just love interest leaving him, and he describes himself like he says like these crazy arms, like it's something along the lines of these crazy arms will hold somebody new. Like I don't know why he references them as like, I guess it's like him reinforcing that like outlaw nature, I guess, because I think I could be very wrong. I've only listened to one album before this album that he's made, but this album sounds a little more like more of a country transition, and some of his older albums sound a little more like kind of like late 50s pop, like and when I say that I mean like oldies music, like almost kind of like Sinatra, but like not quite like Sinatra. And he had more country elements than Sinatra, but to me, I only listened to the one album before this album, but this album sounds much more country than that album did. I think that album is called My Own Peculiar Way.
I mean, I think that makes sense because at the time, music kind of was I think just in general transitioning more, country started to rise, and then yeah, I mean like it was definitely I think one of the dominant. It was like the easy listening genre of like the 70s.
Yeah.
Not having lived through that, but at least in my general impression, I think that's more of what it is.
Yeah. And I could see
Yeah.
that now that I'm talking out loud, I can see that like Crazy Arms thing relating to like his image as like kind of a bad boy. Like he's not like bad boys that we think of today, but he was like he curated an outlaw image for himself in that time.
Yeah, I mean that was what it was like, outlaw country.
Yeah,
It was a whole brand that people would be a part of. So it definitely, yeah. I mean, I can see that. Looking at some of the lyrics, it's someday these crazy arms will hold someone new, but now I'm so lonely. Just kind of reinforcing the kind of like, I don't know, troubled lone wolf a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Jordan, do you have what did you get out of?
Yeah, again, I don't have too much input just because this was like the first country album I listened to, but I mean, I definitely liked it. But they're just, I mean, okay, you hear a lot more of the instruments because there's not a whole lot going on. That's something that I noticed. Like,
oh yeah,
I can actually hear like the plucking of the guitars. Like I said, the bass line, maybe not this song, but like if there was any like percussion in it or whatever. But overall, it was decent. I don't really have much more to say than that, just because I haven't gotten into it much. But yeah, it was pretty decent.
Yeah. I think, yeah. I mean, I think it served its place. Start off the album, keeping the image alive, and then move on.
Yeah, definitely knew I was listening to a country album though. Definitely.
Right. Yeah, there's no mistaking that. All right, so moving down the list, you got the second song, which I've heard. I don't know how. It's one of those songs where I heard it a lot, and then I didn't recognize the name, but then listening to it, it was like, the song is the Wabash Cannonball. I think it was originally written by A.P. Carter, and I'm not sure if he was also the artist who made it famous. Yeah, okay, so he was a member of the Carter family. Yeah, so he actually would have written and then made this famous. But yeah, so I mean, this to me, another just a quintessential outlaw country song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I googled it, it said that I was on the Wikipedia page for the song, not for this entire album, but it said that like parts of the chorus could be traced all the way back to like 1882.
Yeah, if I remember correctly,
what?
it's an old, like, just kind of song. I mean, well, because the song's about, I think it's a train route, if I remember correctly. Because the Wabash transportation company. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you drive and look at like semi trucks, a lot of them you'll find like Wabash like brands on either the trailers or the like rigs.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure it's the same company. But yeah, it's about like a train route, I think. I mean, because he talks about the lyrics in the song, or like talking about like hobos and then the lonesome whistle and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think this is probably, I guess it's kind of like an old folk song-ish kind of thing, just something that's like permeated through the country culture.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jamie. I just did a quick Google search just in case, and it said it says predicaments of the Wabash Cannonball Express as it traveled on the Great Rock Island train route. So you definitely were right about that. But
yeah, so it like but I mean, I think that like I've heard other versions of it. Admittedly, I didn't listen to a lot before this. Put that on me. But it, like, I mean, I still think like it definitely it sounds like it doesn't sound like he's covering someone's song.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
it sounds like, you know, if I didn't know any better, it'd be like, yeah, this is his song, you know.
Yeah, the only song I knew when I first listened to the album, the only song I knew was a cover was Everybody's Talking, which is later in the album. But I had just coincidentally heard that before, and then
Interesting.
I just I can't remember if that just made me think about like if he had any more covers on the album, but then I found out that I found like 3 other covers on the album, and then when we were about to record this podcast, you had like 2 or 3 more covers that I didn't even know about that were on the album. I was like, oh
yeah,
man.
I went. Yeah, for the listeners out there, we're not doing this all by memory. I do have this kind of written down, believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, I was the same way. Like, this was one where I was like, okay, this is definitely, like, I've heard this before. I knew Both Sides Now was by Joni Mitchell.
I got you.
But yeah, I also, whenever I was looking up, you know, a little bit of research before this, I was like, oh, wow, it's like half covers.
Yeah.
Which, you know, probably shows that we're not the most in tune with the all of this music genre.
We're trying to...
Because, I mean, the other ones are by pretty famous people. Like, I recognize their names.
I don't, sadly.
You'll get there. We'll train you.
Okay.
I only recognize, like, 2 of their names.
Yeah, I you know, I don't know. It's just I remember people's names. That's literally, it's just trivia. It's pointless knowledge that I have stored away. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, so far to me on the album, it's just been a typical like country album. You know? So then we move into the what?
Yeah, I was gonna say the next song, the Pins and Needles in My Heart. I thought it was like it deviates a little bit from like the stereotypical like country sound like we were talking about. It's a little more like sparse in its instrumentation, in the sense that like there's some like relatively like quick like acoustic guitar playing, but there's not like like that bouncing bass line, I don't think. Like it's just a little different. It sounds a little more singer-songwriter ish. And and like there's harmonies like in the chorus that I liked a lot. And that's like that's one reason I like Willie Nelson a lot, because those genres are similar in the way that he I don't know, performs them, I guess, but they're just different enough to where I like the different pace that they provide on the album.
Yeah. It's funny, like, so this, you know, looking at it now, we realize that it is the first song that's, you know, not a cover.
Yeah.
Which the other ones are covers, but instrumentation, you can still do that in a cover. So I think it's more just coincidence. It's not that he went into it writing it sparse, but it's funny to me. I think this might be like my least favorite song.
Really?
On the album. Yeah.
I kind of like this one.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, like I like the instrumentation in it. It's just, I mean, I don't think it's a bad song.
Yeah,
like, I would listen to it. But if I'm comparing it to all the other ones, I think this is probably just, I don't know why. I can't even discern exactly why. I don't know. I just thought it was like, okay.
It's funny. That makes sense. It's funny that you say that, because like I feel similar about Wabash Cannonball. Like it's like I can't really say why, but it's probably my least favorite song. Yeah, and it sounds really similar to some other ones, but like it's just, I don't know. I like some of the other ones better.
I mean, that's the beauty of music.
I think the reason I like this one so much is because there's a little bit more harmonizing in this one. I know at one point the vocals start overlapping, and it starts creating
you start like towards the end.
Yeah, or like I think it starts at like the middle, but
yeah, somewhere in there. I know what you mean. It kind of like starts to a little bit sections of like different lyrics and harmony like overlay.
Yeah,
is that what you're talking? Yeah,
because like I mean, I'm used to hearing like a lot of different like pitches and stuff, so I think that's why maybe I gravitate towards this one a little bit more. It's just because I like there's a lot of harmonies in the music I listen to, so I think that's maybe why I like this one a lot more.
It's also I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it also
Do it.
Maybe it's
Tell me how I feel.
maybe it could also be maybe that this was like, the first two are very old country, and then this one's the first one that's a little bit different. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that I think that it would, add to the standout nature of it.
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
definitely.
time.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah, and then a recurring thing throughout this album and all of country is just naming Texas cities, because I mean so he's from Texas, so it makes it
Shocker.
but it is because the next song, Who Do I Know in Dallas, I
don't know
This is
anybody
the
in
first-
Dallas.
I know of people in Dallas.
Just
but
kidding. I'm being stupid.
Never.
Stupid together.
I hate you
So-
guys.
Yeah, I don't know. So this is, I would say, the first like ballad track.
Do you mind?
Maybe not even necessarily a ballad, but just like the first, to me, really like emotive.
I got you.
song.
I felt like I feel like it and Crazy Arms are like really similar.
Yeah.
And like they're kind of similar with like one or two songs later on the album that I was thinking of, but I really like when this song opens, like the lap steel guitar that plays.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that stuff, brother. Any
I mean, I can't think of anything more like southern, or not southern, but like southwestern Texan. Just that like a ringing sound. Yeah, dude, I love
I
lap
just
steels.
like it, and it's something that's been like the past probably like half year. Just like anytime I hear that in a song, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably stick this one out. I probably won't skip this one. I just like
Yeah,
it. I don't
I mean,
know what it is.
Dude,
I got
anything that slides, like slide guitar,
Yeah.
lap steel, anything, it's a hell of a way to open a song. I love it. Because it lets you know you're about to hear some just like emotional lyricism. Might be a little sad, might be a little bit happy, but either way, it's gonna be real. So if you hear lap steel, someone's gonna be speaking from the heart.
True.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that a really interesting thing about this is, this was something I had thought listening to it, but I didn't realize it just as much. But looking at the actual lyrics, like there are basically two verses, and the first one, they all end in own sounds, all of the lines, and then in the second verse, they all end in like came sounds, like the AME sound.
Okay.
And so, it doesn't make, I don't think it makes that much of a difference in like word choice, but I just thought that was a really, I don't know, just kind of an interesting thing listening to it.
Mm-hmm. It makes it. I think it makes it.
It makes it what?
I think you cut out there, Nick.
I cut out. I couldn't hear you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
I guess my stuff just like cut out altogether. That was weird.
Yeah, weird. I don't know.
But yeah,
Just repeat what you said.
I don't
If you can
even
remember.
man. What was I gonna say about?
Yeah.
We were
I don't
talking
know.
about like the ending lines.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say that's like it's just like a mark of like it's a mark of like good songwriting. Like you can say it's, in my opinion at least, like you can say it's not creative because they don't change the rhyme scheme, but like to me I think it's harder to come up with that many like words that are cohesive and like a whole verse that like makes sense and is like still good, that all rhymes
no,
that way.
I think
it makes it catchier.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to remember for the listener. It makes it more of like it makes it catchier, easier for you to remember the lyrics, and in turn it makes it easier for you to sing and remember. And It's just
I think it definitely, because subconsciously, whether you realize it or not, like your brain is kind of like catching that on its own, and so I think it. Yeah, I mean, I think that it. I have heard that some people say it'll be like a cop out or whatever, but I think it just shows like, it's intentional writing.
And this is one of the songs written by Willie Nelson. It's not a cover.
Yes, it is.
He gets cred.
He does. Yeah, I mean, I think that because it is like, I think it would be harder to have a 4-line or 8 lines, but having some sort of like a repetitive sound. I think that that does make it a little bit more difficult because you kind of have to work within self-created constraints, but you're still working within that box and producing something that is sounds good. Right.
I feel you.
Yeah, anything else to add on Who Do I Know in Dallas?
I don't think so.
All right, so then we'll move on to my favorite song.
Yes, sir.
I was about to say. I wrote down too. I said my literal note is "once more with a feeling" sounded good.
Wait. Bro, that's not the next song, bro.
Wait. Dang it! I thought I read it wrong.
All right, so the
I'm
next.
I'm gonna go delete my whole existence now. Okay, bye guys.
I Gotta Get Drunk, which to me is it's just a fun.
It's an anthem.
It's just a fun song,
Yeah.
You sounded doubtful.
Yeah, I know. I'm so embarrassed now. I don't even know what to do.
Nah, you're good. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. No, it actually is a pretty nice song. I mean, it's like very upbeat too. So
yeah, I mean, it's just kind of. I think it's because especially going from Pins and Needles and then Who Do I Know in Dallas, and then you just pick it right back up with, it just immediately starts off with that
lifting you up,
kind of like groovier. I mean, it just feels like a song that you would have at like, I don't know, like you'd hear someone singing it like a cover band at a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, yeah,
Or like in the backyard of a party, just have it on the the playlist.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just a good 2.5 minute kind of self-deprecating, but not in like a sad way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely has some I don't know how to explain it, but some really good rhythm where you can kind of bounce to. I don't know how to explain that, but
yeah, it's got that kind of 2-step in.
Yeah,
like whether you know it or not, you kind of start to move side to side.
Yeah,
boom,
yeah.
boom.
I agree.
Yeah, it's one of my. I think it's probably my favorite upbeat song on the record, and it has one of my favorite lyrics in the record where he says, "There's a lot of doctors that tell me that I better start just slowing it down. But there's more old drunks than there are old doctors, so I guess we better have another round."
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. I was, that's just a funny, quotable throwaway line. That there's a group of guys at a bar, some good old boys, and the song comes on, they would belt out that line, and then, the night would ensue.
That's like the line where you take a shot.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and it's it's funny, kind of poking fun at yourself, and then saying, you know what, I'm living my life.
Yeah.
I think it actually was probably written more of a critique on his drinking days, but it lived on to be a party song.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy that one. I think that it's one of the more just singable songs on it, because you don't really have to have prior experience to it. It's just kind of like what made Jimmy Buffett. Everyone can relate to trying to just kind of relax and chill out.
Yeah,
you don't have to have had heartbreak or anything. It's just kind of I'm just trying to blow off steam.
Yeah. Did anybody ever think on this album that he kind of maybe reminds you a little bit of Jimmy Buffett?
Yeah. I think, especially for me, because my mom is a huge Jimmy Buffett, a stan. She's a parrot head through and through. So yeah, I definitely, there's so much that I could, parallels that I could draw.
Yeah, I could like even hear some of his like accent a little bit. Like I'd be like, that really sounds like the way he just like sounded too, like his voice. I don't know. I could hear like a little bit of Jimmy Buffett's twang in there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna look it up before I just talk out of my ass. I'm pretty sure Jimmy Buffett is from, somewhere kind of like that.
Watching be from like
Texas
Canada.
area.
Well, that was
Yeah, he was born in Mississippi, so definitely that same.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so there definitely is that like just kind of twanginess to it. I definitely see what you're saying there. Okay, so then I guess we'll move into Jordan's favorite track of Once More with Feeling, which I believe that it was written by his wife at the time, Shirley Nelson.
Interesting.
And then she's the one that they duet on with that. But I think I was reading on the Wikipedia page from it. I'm pretty sure that this was the last project they worked together. So I guess
before they like divorced or like just stopped making projects together.
No. I'm okay. Now I gotta look that up because you have me questioning it. But I'm pretty sure that it was they divorced. They split up after that. Yeah, I mean, I like the song.
Yeah. Okay, I think. Wait, sorry.
What were you saying? No, you go ahead.
I think the reason I like it, or I usually don't like slower songs, but I think this he really draws out all the lines. Like it takes a while for him like to sing like once more with feel. He just like it takes him. I don't know why I just ended up liking that part so much. I mean, he repeats it a couple times, but just like listening to it, I don't really know why I liked it so much. I just kind of liked it.
For me, it's like one. It's like a catchy one, like one you can sing out in the car.
Yeah.
Like even if the even when you haven't analyzed the lyrics and you like haven't established a cohesive meaning for the song, like that line, if just a line is applicable to like something you feel in your life, it feels good to belt it out when you're just in the car by yourself. No one else.
Yeah.
No one else.
I
would never expose anyone else to that.
and then it kind of goes up, it goes like, it's not like it doesn't go down, it goes like once more, and then it's kind of like you said, like
swell.
It's easy to sing because it goes up,
Yeah, it kind of like lifts a little bit. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, so I like this song, but I don't like the first line. It's the initial opening, Once More with Feeling. I don't know. I like the rest of the song musically, but for whatever reason, that just the first line, every time I hear it, I'm just like, okay, now it's good.
Wait, okay,
I don't know why.
It says Once More with a Feeling multiple times in the song, but you just don't like the first Once More with the Feeling? I'm confused.
Yeah, it's specifically the way it's, I don't know, like listing. I don't know. It's there's like it's pretty. I don't know why. I really can't. It's like initially I'm like this doesn't feel like a song I'd like, but then I don't know. It's weird.
No, I
do like
I
it.
got you. I can respect that you have that opinion, but not maybe get why.
But I think definitely. I mean, I think it's at least if you're someone who enjoys the company of someone else, like enjoys being in some sort of like a relationship.
Yeah.
What with whoever you want, but if you enjoy that, I think that this song is something that most people can relate to. Like Once More with Feeling, won't you hold me till the light fades into day. Once More with Feeling, hold me close, don't let this feeling go away. I mean, I can't. That's such a relatable
I mean, that's like
You know.
physical touch love language right there. Like if you're that, I don't know why you wouldn't like
That's
this
true.
song.
If you're not into physical touch love languages, that's one of. Is it 5?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, sight, smell,
Oh.
taste, touch.
Bro, there's more than 5 senses. I read that somewhere, and I read a couple other ones, and I was like, oh, that
Bro,
kind of
there's
makes
like
sense.
65. You ever see that stuff where people break down touch? It's like, no, they're umbrella terms.
I got you.
Okay, back to the
Do
country.
you guys have anything else to add to the?
No, I just liked it. I just like the song.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good country duet. You know, about kind of the human experience of missing a partner or wanting like the moments to last a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, yeah. Okay, so then the next song is "Both Sides Now," which was originally by Joni Mitchell.
title track.
What? Yeah, the title track of the
title
album.
track.
Yeah, which was originally Joni Mitchell, who was, I don't know if you guys know, but there was more of she was like a hippie, one of the like hippie artists of the time. Yeah, and so this was actually like it was a departure from the typical conservative background of country at the time to go with like, because you know, if you know Willie Nelson now, at least most people I think of thinking him of just as like a pot smoking and loving hippie. But at the time, you know, being in the culturing the outlaw country image, this was kind of
It's a risk.
Yeah, I mean, it was like kind of a risky thing where people were like, "Oh, Willie Nelson is covering the hippie icon Joni Mitchell." I think in the Wikipedia I was reading about it, it says when talking about it, he says like he didn't really try to push any of it like political agenda at the time. He liked the song and he thought it was cool that I liked that they put flowers in their hair and wore bright tie-dye blouses and bell-bottoms. I liked that they had the courage to look and act any damn way they pleased. Which, I mean, that quote is just as Willie as I could think. But yeah, I mean, so at the time, especially because it's one of his early albums, it's like, you've got this outlaw country guy, and suddenly it's like, oh, he's covering like a sad hippie song. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of like an interesting thing to throw out there.
Yeah, I've listened to 2 Joni Mitchell albums. Don't remember much about one of them. I remember I liked it, but I really like. She has an album called Blue, and like it's like when my professor went over it, he said it was one of like the first like concept albums that had like a theme between like a lot of different songs.
Mm-hmm.
But and it kind of does. It's kind of loose in the sense that like a lot of the songs are like kind of like melancholy, but some of them aren't. Like to me at least, they don't feel that way. But it's a good like. I'm not exactly sure when it came out. I just like the album. It's pretty good. But anyways, back to Willie. Back to Both Sides Now. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I just heard like a crackle in my mic.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of crackle too.
Yeah, you're good.
But
I mean, I like the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it, the song, but I think this is about the time where I started like realizing that there was like a lot of like guitar picking and like bass line, like boom, boom, boom in the background. You know, not really. It's just around. I was like, wow, all these songs, I feel like start out the same way with just like a a light guitar, and then just kind of keep that same tone for like the whole time. You know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
if, like,
I gotcha.
This one's not quite as like thumping as like Crazy Arms and stuff. It's one of the It's one of my favorite songs. Like I just like the parallels between like the first and second chorus and first and second verse and stuff. And like the idea that that like the memories are always better than like the real thing. Like and that applies more than just like relationships. But Like,
yeah, I mean, I think that, because it's just, I saw this thing one way, I then saw it another way. I've seen it from both sides. I think that can be said about countless things in everyday, the human experience.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
that's one of the one of the best lines I think in the album, and he didn't even write it, but I love his take on it. I like his version of the song a lot. It's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. So poetic.
Right.
What a guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah.
So it's a soft, like a soft tone, like coming from the outlaw Willie Nelson. I said Nelson.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson.
Lily Nelson, bro. Rapper in the making.
But
yeah, I mean, it is. It's great songwriting. I know that he didn't write it, but
his take on
Crazy
it.
Joni Mitchell. Yeah. I mean, it's really good. He sings it. I like his vocal arrangement very well. It's good instrumentation. Yeah, good song.
It's great.
And then it kind of is interesting the change in tune.
Yeah.
of
with the next one.
Bloody Mary Morning, which actually, after this, it became a staple of his at his concerts. But yeah, I mean, I love the song.
It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, just it's kind of a wry sense of humor. Like, it's okay. So I think it's cool that it starts out with the chorus, and he interweaves the chorus between building the scenario in which the chorus takes place. Like, he starts off with the chorus, and then he says, she left me in the middle of the night. And then he's like, okay, now I'm getting on a flight. And then the flight attendant asks me, I really like, it's really good rhythm. It's coffee, tea, or something stronger to start off the day. And then he responds with the chorus.
Okay.
And then
I didn't notice that at first.
Yeah. If you look back at it, that's kind of, that was something I got. I listened to this in the last 4 days, probably 8 or 9 times. This album. So yeah, that's definitely something that I thought was oh, that's actually there's some storytelling.
I was gonna say
and songwriting.
Yeah, some good storytelling going on.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, it's also a country classic. It just became an iconic country song. But I really enjoy the song, talking about. He also weaves in him being a country boy who's, that's learning the pitfalls of the city are extremely real. Yeah, and I love it. He, after he recounts that chorus after answering the flight attendant, goes into, just a nice Telecaster and lap steel solo breakdown.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I think I listened to one of his albums that was released a few years after this one, called Daisies and Stages, and in that album he has this song again, and I think it's a little faster tempo, and I don't know if he has more instruments or if it just sounds fuller because there's a faster tempo, but but it was just interesting to hear him play it again on a different album. It was cool.
Gotcha.
It was a neat little note.
I think that used to be a more common thing.
Yeah. I know covers in general were just more common back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, because you're looking at this now, this album, half of it was covers, and it was still a good album. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love this song. But it's probably tied for my favorite one with I Gotta Get Drunk. It's just I like the music. It's kind of more upbeat, just a good, I don't know. I like it.
Again, I didn't really, it was hard for me to pay attention to the lyrics because I was listening to the music a lot. So this one was
this one definitely, I could see that.
Yeah.
This one definitely throws a lot of that music instrumentation at you.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say I thought it was pretty decent, but I just didn't really listen to the lyrics. But you seem to like the storytelling a lot, so
I got you. Yeah. And then next would be Everybody's Talking, which was originally by Fred Neil and made famous by something Nilsson.
I think it's Harry Nilsson, if I remember right.
Harry, that sounds right. Yeah, it was a hit in 1969. Reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and won a Grammy.
Wow.
Featuring the film Midnight Cowboy. Yeah, I mean, this one, I think it's a good song. For me, I was just kind of middle of the road on it.
Yeah, it's a little slow for my taste too, but
yeah,
not the best song, I'm gonna be honest. But again, I just like more upbeat, faster type of stuff. So
yeah. When I first listened to the album, my favorite songs were Both Sides Now, Everybody's Talking, and It Could Be Said That Way, which are like the slowest songs on the album.
Right, that's like
yeah, those are like the 3 main slow songs on the album, and that was like the first time I listened to it, and like listening to it again this week and a little before this week. I can't remember the last time I listened to it before this week, but I really just have an appreciation for like pretty much all the songs, and I have a newfound love with I Gotta Get Drunk and Bloody Mary Morning. They're both, and Who Do I Know in Dallas? I really like that song too.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is sometimes, but like I'll definitely stick to like everyone sticks to songs that they really like with like their first album. Like I listened to I think it was like the Carter 3 or something, and I really liked a lot of songs on there. And then like I go back and listen to it, and I like the other songs that I didn't like the first time. I'm like, or didn't like catch on to the first time. I'm like, these are pretty. Like, why didn't I like these songs at first? Like, these are pretty good songs also. And then I just am like, I could have been listening this whole time, and then but I haven't been. You know.
Yeah, that's why I will also like intentionally go back. If I'm kind of at a point where I don't know. I guess it's like a little bit of a rut. I'll definitely go back and be like, I haven't listened to this in a while, and I'll find that I like way more of the songs on albums. Yeah, but yeah, with this song, it's just kind of middle of the road for me. I don't have much to offer.
I think it's really relaxing. I think there might have been like bongos in it, maybe, or like some type of percussion that didn't sound super traditional. But
yeah,
it's just really relaxed. It's honestly like the lyrics are kind of like about him like going to like the beach, which are like is like his happy place. But it's a very chilled song.
Mm-hmm. Definitely,
I like it.
Yeah. So then the next one would be One Has My Name, The Other Has My Heart. Originally, at least written by Hal Blair. I like this one. I think it's got good. I don't know. I guess irony in the lyricism of it. I think it's just kind of a funny juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Talks about the old
about
boomer humor of man, I hate my wife.
He does, yeah. Like there is like he definitely shows more affection towards his mistress in the affair in the song, but but I think it's more like in jest, like it's
right.
It feels like lighthearted. But
it doesn't feel as serious as that. It's definitely more of. I think it's probably also more about, probably written more about the lifestyle of being on the road.
Yeah,
and having like more kind of like a double life, I guess, and kind of that wistful yearning for the. I don't know, it's kind of like you want what you can't necessarily have, or like grass is greener, stuff like that.
Yeah, I
was about to say grass is greener too. Again,
I mean, I like the song.
Yeah, I listened to mostly the music. I don't know why it's so hard for me to pay attention to the lyrics. Again, it's just like that new like genre, like you said, Jamie, like training your ears.
I definitely get it. Yeah,
I know. I'm like conscious of the fact, like as I was listening to it, but I still couldn't like separate. You know, that's just
I get that.
Like, yeah. So there was like a I don't know if it was like a solo in the middle, but there was like a while that like in the middle of the song for like a minute or something in the middle that it didn't have any lyrics, and it was just like the guitar or whatever playing. I don't know if even was is it a guitar like that high pitch, like that. I don't know. There's some instrument in there that sounds just really nice, and I like that little interlude that it had in the middle of the song, where I could just like listen to the instruments while no one was singing.
I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, but I think that especially with this time frame of older country music, that happens a lot, where you just kind of they're a lot more like musical, not like solos, but like just kind of 15, 20-second interludes between verses and choruses.
Yeah, that's something I don't see a lot, which I think is why I noticed it. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, obviously in the genre you listen to, it's like back to back to like just pretty much fitting as many lyrics as you can in as little time as possible, which is kind of, I think that might be why I noticed it this time too.
I gotcha. Yeah. So do we want to round out the album then?
Isn't there?
With It Could Be Said That Way.
Yeah.
Track of the album.
The finisher, the closer.
The closing track.
I think it's.
I didn't really have that much to say about this either.
Really?
It was again kind of slower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you said you don't like slow songs very much, but it, like, in a different way, it's one of my favorite songs on the album. Mm-hmm. Like, I like a lot of, like, what he's saying and the message he's putting across about, like, how you can say all this grand stuff about heartbreak, but, like, really it's easiest to just move on and try to put it behind.
I gotta go or whatever. Yeah.
And there's a line that I really like that's hard for me to like discern what it means, where he says, I can't find it right now. We can keep talking and I'll tell you if I find it. But I thought I wrote it down.
Wow.
I know he says I hope there's he says I hope there's room for me. But I can't remember the lines.
I got the
before
lyrics
it.
up right now.
Okay.
I can
get that Control F.
It's like
this road on which I travel, paved with broken glass and gravel, has just room for me. I hope there's room for me.
Yeah, I really like that, and like I feel like it's like poetic, but it's hard for me to like figure out what it means, because like it sounds like the whole song he's putting these thoughts forward and saying that he understands that he needs to move on. But when he says I hope there's room for me, like on this road to leave, it's like he like is also thinking that maybe he like can't leave. But I guess it's like,
I mean, there's also
go ahead, say what you're thinking, because
it ties in a little bit. I mean, I do think that there is an underlying message there of like maybe it's like qualifying that like we're not heartbreak isn't a one-way street. It's an experience that both parties go through. So maybe he's talking like we'll travel down the road together but separately. But that line then ties into, I suspect that I'll be lonely, but I know that if I'm lonely, I'll deserve to be, which is also, I think, him kind of reiterating that, like, I'll take the hit on this one, kind of. Like, I'll accept like a little bit of the fault.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Interesting. I like that analysis, Jamie.
Yeah. I think that, so I like this song. I don't love it, but I like it. I like it, especially for some of its lyricism. But I really think it's cool because since it's the last song on the album, the last line of the album, or I guess the last two lines, would be, "What's the use in making rhymes?"
Yeah.
He ends the album with, "I'd much rather say it's time for me to go," and then that's the album. I think that's really cool.
It's so meta. Yeah. I thought that when I listened to it, I was like, bro, it's like different levels. Like he's like a lot of the album is about like heartbreak and stuff, and he says like, "What's the use in making rhymes? Like why am I still writing down these thoughts and thinking about these things? It's time for me to move on."
Yeah, I thought that's really cool because it could be said about like the heartbreak thing, but that also works in like, I've made this album,
Yeah.
but what's the use in making rhymes? I'd rather say it's time for me to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And then dips.
I don't think I caught that on my first or even maybe second listen, but when I did, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Hats off to you, Willie, and your producer. Felton Jarvis, man, that's a country name.
Felton Jarvis.
that's the producer. Yeah. So, anything else to add for "It Could Be Said That Way"?
It is.
No,
I know you guys don't like it that much, but it's one of my favorite songs.
No, Nick.
I think it's a decent. It's a decent one.
It hits me. It
it's
hits
not
me
that
in the heart. It's a good one.
I sad little boy.
I see, Nick. I almost don't even like when I was listening to it. I didn't even think I had like the I couldn't even really judge it whether it was bad or good the first time. I was just kind of like listening to it because I was like it was so different than what I like. Obviously, my initial reaction is to be like, "This is not the music I listen to." Let me just like act like, or let me just not like it because I don't listen to it, So I tried to not do that like the first couple times, and it's not that I had to set because I obviously have a filter by which I listen through music through, and if I listened through that filter, I wouldn't have liked pretty much any of these songs probably because they just don't match up with it. So I tried to like remove the filter and like listen to it for what it is and not like what I like. Like I still should listen to what I like, but for the sake of this, I just tried to listen to it as itself, and I ended up liking more songs than I thought. I ended up liking the music probably more than I thought too, so I thought it was pretty decent also.
I gotcha.
I'm glad that's kind of like that's a decent segue into overall impressions of the album. I'm glad you I'll let you make an official statement, but I'm glad you like the music more than you thought you would. Because I was nervous after I picked it. I was like, "Oh man, is Jordan gonna enjoy this one?" Because it seems very outside of his wheelhouse.
I know. See, that's why. I mean, again, that's why we're doing this. One is because I want to listen. I want to like force myself to listen to music that I don't usually listen to because I know it's so hard for me to do that because I just want like the hi-hats, the trumpets just sounding like 15 of them on top of each other, just bah, 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 but again, that's why I'm doing this. But the album, I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was decent. I can't really say I like loved it, I can't really say that I hated it either. But I definitely like the music aspect of it. And again, I think I might, the way you guys talked about it, I think I would like it more if I knew actually what the lyrics were, but usually it takes me a while, and I didn't listen to it enough to where I did get the lyricism of it, so I could only really judge it a lot based off the music this time, but from what you guys said, it made me like it a little bit more from this time. If that makes sense.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think that, do you have anything else?
No. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, it wasn't an album that I've listened to, but I am, I'm familiar with Willie, and just the country genre as a whole at this time. So, it was what I expected. I wouldn't say that it was anything out of the blue for me. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was a good album. I liked it enough to listen to it 9 or 10 times. It's a short though. It's a really short.
It's like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a song on it more than 3.5 minutes, and most songs are under 3 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that was also more of the times as well. But yeah, like music was shorter, and then it got longer, and now I feel like we're back to like 41 to 50-minute albums.
Bro, I got some albums on deck that are like an hour 30,
but I got some longer ones too. But yeah,
I actually agree with that, Jamie. Like some more LPs or like EPs where it's like not as long, but maybe I got like 7 or 6 songs on them.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
I mean, I thought it was a good starter album.
Mhm.
You know, it was good.
Yeah, to me,
I liked it.
is it you good? You good, Jamie? Is that
Yeah, I'm good.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, to me, it's I feel like it's a great album to like listen to, like in the car, like by yourself, and just kind of
Mhm.
enjoy it because it's only like half an hour long. You can probably listen to it on like I was gonna say most drives. Most drives probably are 30 minutes, but like
Yeah.
on a fair
I guess
amount
it
of
depends on
drive.
where you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But like like some songs can be like enjoyed in a group. Like I Gotta Get Drunk and Bloody Mary Morning, but like
Mhm.
a lot of songs are like contemplative and like I don't know. It's just yeah, I enjoy a lot of the lyricism because it's like it's simple and it's also poetic in some like ways, like metaphorical in some ways, but most of them are obvious to the point that I can understand them. And like, uh,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just it's got like good highs and lows, kind of like a concert. Like they take you on that emotional roller coaster and
Yeah.
like like build you up, bring you down, build you up again. It's it's a good ride. I like it a lot.
Mhm. Couldn't say it better.
Thank you. Thank you. And that is my final answer that I'm locking in. It is a
Okay, lock in your answer.
it is quality,
Uh,
solid quality.
yeah, so I guess that. If Jordan, do you have anything else to throw into the mix?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, yeah. Then that concludes our. I guess it's analysis. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
say analysis
/
of
review.
Willie Nelson's album, Both Sides Now. Yeah. So I would hope you, the audio listener, enjoyed kind of us, especially if you've listened to the album and have your own thoughts. I hope that you enjoyed listening to us talk about it. None of us are, I guess, professional
Not in the
music
slightest.
analyzers, but
Or I'm speaking for myself, not in the slightest.
yeah,
but-
I mean,
you say,
we just he was adding to the emphasis of how unqualified. he is. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, I think that this is a pretty good example of what this kind of show will be like, because it's just, yeah, I mean, it's three guys talking about music together and hopefully interacting with the audience. Yeah, like if you had any thoughts you wanted to add, or maybe points you wanted to argue, or just if you want to throw your own hat in the ring, you can definitely feel free to, tweet at us or
Comment down below.
Yeah, throw it in the comments on YouTube. Yeah. So that was Both Sides Now. So now we can announce the next episode's album. It'll be me, Jamie, will be picking it, and it'll be the album Turn Blue by the Black Keys.
Who?
The Black Keys. They're a little lesser known band. I don't know if you've heard pretty deep cut. Yeah. Oh. I did want to throw this in there. One note: if you haven't listened to this album, or even if you have and you haven't done this album is a definite headphone listening album at least once.
Talking about
Both
the Willie
ears.
Nelson or the Black Keys one?
Oh, the Black Keys one.
Yeah,
With
okay,
Turn
okay.
Blue. We've moved on from Willie. Yeah,
Okay,
this
okay.
song, it's good. I don't think there's a bad way to listen. I don't think there's a bad way to listen to music in general. But I
Yeah.
will say, from my experience, this album, headphones, just hearing all of the sonic landscaping of it definitely takes it to a whole nother place.
Okay, what's it called again, real quick? Sorry.
It's Turn Blue.
Turn Blue. Okay.
Yes,
see the
the
favorite.
cover of it is a blue and
Spirally.
pinkish spiral.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, so if you want to tune in to next week's episode, that's what we'll be talking about. We will listen to that. The three of us will listen to it over the course of the week. And then, tune in next Friday to hear us talk about it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so... What?
I said I'm excited. It's an album I haven't listened to in a long time, and one that I didn't love when it came out, but I had a narrower appreciation of music back then. So
I've never
I'd
listened
say
to
I
this
definitely
album,
fall
so-
into that camp as well.
yeah, and like they're and it's a little more like you were saying, like you want to listen to it with like two headphones or just make sure you have like stereo sound, make it a little immersive, because it's a little more like psychedelic than some of the other stuff in some songs, but like in my opinion at least. But it's good. I like a lot of music like that now, so I'm quite excited to listen to it again.
I'm also excited. I'm excited to hear y'all's thoughts about it. This was, for me, it was kind of the same thing where, you know, I hadn't really listened to it a bunch since it came out, and then I listened to it again probably about a month ago, and I was like, dang, this is awesome. So tune in next week to hear us talk about it. You know, listen to it in the meantime, and then I guess it's partaking in the conversation. But at least listen to us, you know, the three unqualified people talk about it.
Oh yeah, we're ready
It'll be a good time.
We're ready to give you our unexpert opinions.
I will always give my unexpert opinion. Absolutely. So with that, I guess we'll wrap her up. One thing I was gonna say, definitely, in the like comments on YouTube, and you know, tweet at us or however communicate with us. Like, if you listen to this, I mean, just kind of throw out, you know, what you've been listening to over the last week. You know, I think it'd be interesting to kind of hear what different people have been kind of just vibing with, and hear if it like. I think it's cool to see the demographics and the data with that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
It was a suggestion. I can't take credit. It was a suggestion I got from one of my friends. But I think it'd be really cool. You know, just kind of throw out what you've been listening to. Anything else you guys want to say before we?
I think I'm good.
I'm
all right.
I'm great.
All right. So
I'm the best.
All right. So with that, then, you know, if you like this, like the video. If you want to, subscribe to the channel. And then in the description for this on YouTube or wherever you find it, there will be the podcast's Twitter account or social media accounts, and then there will be our personal accounts. You know, if you want to reach out to the podcast, or if you just want to reach out to any of the three of us in general. I just want to thank you, the audio listener, who literally is the support for this. Just want to say thanks for checking us out, and tune in next week where we will talk about Turn Blue. Wow, I can't believe I love that. We're talking about Turn Blue by the Black Keys. All right. Thanks for checking us out.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
And remember to listen up.